Okay, first application is 20 Old Road Lane. Patrick Croak is on. If you can share your screen. Hi, Patrick. You're on mute.
You have to unmute.
Sorry about that. Good evening. I'm Patrick Croak, the architect for the project. Daisy, did you say to share the screen?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Yeah. I'm sorry, this is Old Road Lane, right? Okay.
Okay, is that visible? It's an aerial shot of the area of the site.
Yes.
Okay. We're proposing an addition at 20 Old Road Lane, which is the house at the end of Old Road Lane. It's up on the hillside off of 128, and it wraps with Cottage Road to the south. The house that's being renovated is an old 1960s ranch style house. There are really only two neighbors that can see it. This house here at 14 Old Road, and this house on Cottage at the top of the hill. As we go in a little closer, and you can see it's quite a bit of trees around the site. So there's not much of the site of the house visible from anything except this adjacent house, which is owned by the same owners. This is the 14 Old Road Lane, the house to the north. And as you can see here in the distance, this is the house that's being renovated. This is looking back from the driveway of 20 Old Road at the 14. And then there's another house up on the hill here, which has no view of the renovation. That's the house on top of the, to the left of 14 Old Road. The house off of Cottage is up on the top of this hill. Quite a few trees between that and our site. And this is a view of that house.
But of course, if you took a photograph today, it would probably look different. You probably have a better view of the house.
Yes, certainly, as the leaves disappear. You can see here, this is an area view in the fall or the spring without leaves. So you can see it is a little bit more open. What we're proposing, this is the footprint of the existing house with no hatching. We're proposing an addition of a kitchen on the first floor, bedrooms on the second floor in this area. We're filling in an old section of the, an old entry. Some reason this house was built backwards. You come in off of Old Road, but the entrance to the original house is on the back side. And then there's a small addition on the second floor that overhangs a new entry on this side. Get up the presentation. So here are a few photographs of the existing house. This is from the entrance on the driveway. As I said, it's a one-story ranch house. This section of the basement is a walkout basement. The rest of it is buried in the hillside. As you come down the driveway, this is at the end of the driveway. Looking back, there's the garage. There's a little deck off the kitchen now, and the main entrance to the house actually comes around the back. As you come around the back of the garage, the main entrance is right here in this area. So you can see as the hill drops around the side, and then that one section facing west is open as a walkout section of the basement. Right here. And what we're proposing is a second-story addition above this. So we're renovating the basement. This is the one addition under the kitchen and bedroom. This section here is the original entry that's being filled in. There's a deck, which is the new entrance off this driveway side of the house. And then the new second floor includes bedrooms, dance studio, some workspaces for the owners. And this is the proposed new elevations. This is the 128 side, the east side of the house. These doors open up to private terraces out on that side. This is the side we looked at previously where the grade starts to drop down. So this is the addition at this section. And this is just the second story over this. This is the area with the walkout basement area. We've got decks, and then there's an entertaining terrace on the lower level here. And then this is the driveway side. As you come in, there's a flat roof overhang to cover the entrance. The second story bumps out and cantilevers over that area. The materials that we're proposing.
Can we see the other two elevations, please?
I'm sorry?
Can we see the other two elevations?
Yes. So this is the east and the south. And the west and the north. There are green roofs proposed for these flat roof areas. We're proposing a sort of a dark gray metallic roof, a medium to dark semi-transparent stain on a cedar siding, and clad Marvin windows with a darker gray or black finish. We do have a finished schedule here. I sent it over to Daisy at the end of the day, so I'm not sure if she's received it yet, but it spells out what we're looking at, what we're proposing for each of the surfaces. Again, the siding, trim, everything's, the intention here is to have a finish on the exterior of the house that sort of blends in with the trees that surround it. Does not stand out like the adjacent house, which is all white.
So you're reskinning the whole house, all the windows, all the everything? Is it all?
Yes, correct. Yes,
I think essentially it's a new house.
essentially it is.
What are you aesthetically and stylistically, what are you trying to do? I mean, you have these almost barn-like gable roofs and forms, and then you have this boxy-like thing on the east elevation.
Well, the gable roofs are trying to fit in with the neighborhood. That's what's in many of the areas. This flat roof area is at the rear of the house. And we originally looked at a gable roof over this, but in looking at it from the neighboring property at 14, that gable became quite visible as it rose up into this area. They've got a pool in the backyard on the adjacent property. So we decided to go with the flat roof back here to sort of hide the house a little bit from the neighboring property. It's also on the back side of the house where you really don't see it. And there's a dance studio up in the area above the garage where we've got glass all the way around. So it does transition into a little bit more of a contemporary look at that section of the house.
Stay on this page at the upper west elevation.
Mhm.
I don't think your elevation matches your roof plan. I'm not sure what's going on with that gable on the left. It
This is
seems
the
to be,
gable over, that's the gable over the addition. Let's go back
But
to the
it's-
plan.
okay, I guess I'm reading the lines wrong because
There's
it's
a
actually
gable. There's a gable above this, and then there's a hip roof at this section that bumps out.
right, and you're keeping the eave line all the way around, I think, right?
Correct. Yes, the eaves all the way around. This is the hip section over that little bump out.
I'm just
the living room.
misreading the new two-story addition. It looks like there's a corner board there.
There's
that
a
I didn't
corner
really
board
see.
right here that may
I
not be
see.
reading well on the
Right,
rendered
right.
photo.
Okay, and then on your roof plan compared to your north elevation, it looks like you have a shifted gable above the entrance doors, but I don't see that anywhere on the elevation. If you go to your roof plan.
Yeah.
Just your roof plan and your architectural set.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the right.
I think it's page 5.
All right.
No, the roof, you have a roof plan in
Yeah,
there.
it's
Yes,
page
I do. It's
5.
not in,
It's page 5.
yes, it's not in this set that I'm showing right now.
Oh, it's in the
Let me
set
just-
that I'm looking at.
Yes, it was in the other set. I've got the zoning board set up here on the,
Do you want me to share the screen?
no, I've got it here.
Okay.
So right there above the sort of the
Yes.
entrance, it looks like
Yes,
you have
right
a
here.
shifted gable, but it doesn't show up on the elevation. So I see
You're
the
correct. I'm
main,
sorry, yes, you're correct. There should be a second gable in here.
and what is it doing in the, so what is it supposed to do?
There's a second gable in here that is drawn incorrectly. Right. So as we look at it, this ridge shifts back so that we're centered between the two eaves.
How high does that point come in the small gate?
It's lower than the one that we're showing on the elevation.
And it matches the main gable, so you shouldn't have a line there on your roof plan, I think, right?
Well, the back.
See that line right
There
there?
should be no, correct, there should be no line here. And then this ridge comes halfway down that rake and pitches the other direction.
And is that window in the way then? Is there something blocking that window?
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sorry?
the window's gonna probably be in the way.
We can update that and get it back to you.
Can you just go back to the elevations, the colored elevations?
On the east elevation, what is above on the second floor on the top left? What
In this
room is
area?
that? Yeah, well, I'm
Uh,
sorry,
No, the east
I'm
elevation.
east.
east elevation.
It's some sort
up
of
here
art
is-
storage.
There's art
Some
storage
type
up in
of-
this area. That's why we've got no windows in there.
These windows metal frames or wood trim or what's on the edge?
It's more of an ultimate signature. It's wood on the interior, metal clad on the exterior.
Well, is there anything else? Because you'll have to make that change and then you'll have to come back. Is there anything else we see that,
You putting any lanterns or lights on the house? There's no lights shown.
There will be, yes.
Even rain gutters, that you kind of, when you're doing art, artist drawing like this, the reality of putting leaders and stuff.
Correct, yes. There will be gutters and leaders. There will be lanterns of some type at the doors. We're showing,
you're showing something at the door.
right. We're showing just
You
some
are
type
showing,
of,
you are
some
showing.
type of lantern either side of the door, but the final lanterns have not been selected at this point.
Yeah, but I see lanterns.
Yes.
Can you go to the next set of elevations?
Is the stone, what kind of stone are you using? Using thin set stone or real stone or what kind of material? you
It's real stone. We're proposing, it's on the finished schedule. a Blue Mountain granite. It comes in a thin veneer that we would use on the existing foundations. And it's a full-size stone that we would use on stone walls around the terraces.
And the flat green roofs, are those concrete or are those stick built, or what are those made of?
The green roofs,
Is
it would be a
this,
framed roof with an EPDM membrane and roof barriers, drainage barriers. The green roof system would be a tray type system. So it ends up being a 2 or 3 inch system.
Will that work on the north elevation on right above where your cursor is? I mean, if it's all north, it's really not going to get any daylight.
It's all sedum.
Okay.
It grows on rocks under trees all the time. That's where it's intended. It's a very low maintenance roof.
I mean, I think my issue, and I'm sure there's maybe a reason for it, is that the modern box elements are kind of overpowering what, almost looks like the original barn structure or the predominant structure of the house. And then you have this large box that goes above the eave line. I mean, is there any way that could be kind of secondary to the main house, almost as if it is a modern addition, but it just seems like to me it's overpowering the gable forms you have there. And that's why I asked, what is your stylistically, what are you trying to do with this house?
Well, I think the forms may be traditional, but the detailing would be minimalistic. I think the tendency of the elevations and the detailing will be more towards a contemporary style than a very traditional style. There's not contrasting corner boards. There's not big frieze boards. It's not. There's no crown. There's no real traditional detail that we're planning for on these elevations.
Mm-hmm.
It's a more of a contemporary look on the elevations. And my thought was that this flat roof on the back tied in. It helped us with the massing of the building relative to the adjacent property.
On the west elevation, could that be a shed roof above the family room instead of that kind of hip you have there?
Well, there's a gable that goes this direction and another one that's perpendicular to it over this. So,
Right, but really it's a shed over the family room.
well, sure. I guess this line can run up behind the chimney.
I suppose.
And then from this side, we'd see a wall.
Right,
And I was trying to continue that eve line all the way around.
right. See, in this elevation, the box on the rear, to me, it'd feel like it would be better if it was lower than the eave of the main gable. Were there heights that you were trying to achieve in the dance studio?
Certainly trying to get a little bit more than 8 feet if we can.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It looks like it should be way more than 8 feet, shouldn't it?
and
And I mean,
Well,
just,
it's
just by
8
the
feet to here,
windows,
so
the
it'd be
scale,
9 feet. It'd be 9 feet in that room.
It's currently 9 feet, you're saying, as designed,
Yes.
right? Okay.
The dance
Yes.
studio looked like 10'4", is it? Or is that 10'4" to the roof?
No, that's showing a dimension from the bottom of the floor to the top of the roof.
Right, but it's labeled as the dance studio floor.
Travis, Brendan, you guys have any comments?
no, I generally agree with what's been said. Not sure what we can do about it though.
I don't mind the box, but what bothers me because of the box is, so for instance, on the south elevation, I think to the left, I think it works, to the far left. I think because there's so few windows in the middle that to me then makes that kind of that marriage between the two less effective. And I feel like I don't know if Stanley, if that would help you at all, but
I'm not sure.
the only thing that
We've had a struggle with trying to get the fenestration
Yeah,
to
because,
work out a little bit more evenly, between the owner's desire for areas in these spaces at the south and mainly on the south end and some on this end, for display of their collections. They're looking for wall space for displays rather than windows to bring in light and views.
Do you step up to get to the dance floor, or is it all on the same floor as the second floor?
It actually steps down about a foot. I was just looking at the plan on that. That's why I'm showing it lower on that dimension.
Right.
Yeah, it just
I
looks
mean-
like it looks like a commercial scale. The windows look like a commercial scale. Opposed to the rest of the residential piece of it. It just
Which windows?
the ones on the dance studio. They seem a lot bigger than the rest
maybe
of
it's
the
that
windows.
top,
Well, we've got
top like
large,
transfer area.
yeah, we've got large expanses of glass in several areas throughout the house. And the goal in the dance studio was to have an area for dance that can be surrounded by nature. So we tried to get as much glass in there as we could.
No, I mean, I think that's nice, but I think, again, what I go back to, I think what is more the modern box that you're attaching to the house
Mhm.
would look a lot better if you step down even more, lower the garage ceiling and step down and so that the flat roof was either at the eave line of the gable or lower.
Okay.
I mean, just,
Well,
I can imagine
look
this,
at that. We can look at that option when we update that side elevation.
I can just
Yeah,
imagine
I
this
think
would,
that would look much better.
this would all look much better if that
Yeah.
happened. And I understand the no windows on the art storage business, and I can overlook that I can just tell from my eye, if you lowered that whole form on the left
Mhm.
only, I think it would, I
Right.
think.
Well,
it
we
would
can
help.
look at that. And I think as we lower that, it gives more room for that secondary gable through here.
Right. I mean, other than that, I'm not opposed to the modern addition to kind of an older traditional form and keeping it all modern, but I just think there's just something that really bothers me about the box on the left.
Mhm.
So, that's all I have to say. And then plus the hip gable on the family room addition.
You mean this section here?
Yeah, I think so. I think that bothers me too, but yeah.
Not sure there's a real roof option for that. I'm not sure the shed would work with the view of that wall from this.
Maybe
south
not.
side.
Maybe not. I get it. I mean, I think that's less offensive than the box, so I think, I could live with that. Okay, that's all I have to say.
All right, we're all comfortable with this style in this neighborhood?
Yeah, I am.
Yep, I'm fine.
Okay, so what are we asking? We asking for some changes, or we?
Well, make the plans
Yeah.
and elevations match for one thing. Look at lowering the form of the box on the left, the dance studio box. And I think that's it. I mean, the windows are a little bit all over the place, but I think that's okay.
Okay. All right, you're be automatically on the next agenda. When do we meet in 2 weeks, Daisy, or
We're meeting on December 8th.
December 8th? Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be
And
in
when
contact
would you-
with you.
When would you need revisions back?
So I'll need the plans by December 1st, along with the thumb drive or all
Okay.
on one PDF email.
Okay. Do the new elevations need to be rendered like this, or can we just do
No.
line drawings?
No, the line drawings are fine.
Okay. And then you'll be able to see a little bit more detail then as well.
Okay. No, I appreciate the color though.
And the hand drawings.
Yeah. Okay.
It's always good to
Mm.
get the color pencils out once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rendering's nice. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Good night.
Daisy, what happened to December 1st? What's our December schedule?
I don't, I did this last year. I do it every December, and there has to be something with a holiday or I'm not sure.
If
Not
we
sure why
did the
didn't-
first, I don't know, we did the 1st and 15th, we'd be done with the month before the holidays start.
I'm not sure where we did this.
If we have
I'm
the
not-
8th and 22nd, you know, some people may be away during the holidays.
Yeah, I'm gonna check. I don't know if it had to do with one of the other boards or maybe, I'm not sure. I'd have to check. I'd have to check the holidays, if there are any holidays in December. Hanukkah, I'm not sure when Hanukkah falls.
Hanukkah starts
early.
November
Yeah.
28th, but that shouldn't be an issue.
November 28th through what?
It's 8 days, so
So I think that's why we didn't do December 1st.
because of Hanukkah. Interesting.
Yeah. It's up to you. If you guys want me to change it, we can discuss after the meeting.
Okay.
Are any of you guys being away over the holidays? Are people going away? I'm all right.
Yeah, well, should we talk about it after?
We'll talk about it after.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So our next application is 32 Gray Rock Lane. And I believe Dan is on.
Yep, hello.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
And I have Therese from my office as well, and she's going to share her screen.
Hi. Now they had come before the board about 3 meetings ago, but they didn't get to present because that was the one that Tom has said was a historic landmark. So they had to get approval from the Historic Landmark Committee. I attached the letter to the submission.
Is this the one that we kind of approved over?
No. This was a whole new one. They didn't get to present because Tom kind of stopped them and asked if they had gone.
Isn't this
before.
Gray's house?
It's his
Yeah.
old gray.
I mean,
yes.
it was his house, yeah.
Was his house, yes. So they didn't get to present because they needed to go before the board with the historic landmark first to get their approval. So they're good to go. So tonight they're presenting for the first time.
Does Gray have any comments for us, or is he approved?
It was attached in your submission. Do you have that with you, Dan? If not, I can share it.
No, I read it. He basically approved the
Yeah.
changes. Or he supports the changes and gives reasons why.
Mhm.
And the history.
Yeah,
Then afterwards, we couldn't see it.
Okay, you're all set, Dan.
okay. So to the left is the existing house with the different elevations. And then on the right, obviously, is the Google map. If you're familiar with this street, it's a different variety of homes. And they're all kind of nestled into their places in there. It is Gray Rock Lane. It's very rocky. You can see in the upper left picture of the existing house. It's surrounded by rock outcroppings, which is part of the challenge. And then with the existing elevations, we'll show you that next to proposed. So in general, the main body of the house is remaining the same. The garage is existing, and the structure to the left on the front elevation is an existing, we call it sunroom, which we are demolishing and rebuilding just because it's we're making it a little bit bigger than it was, but it still stays within the dimensions of the side of the house. So you can see it in the existing. It's got a flat roof on it. The purpose of the project is to do a lot of maintenance on the house. So it will receive new siding. The windows are staying. But the main reason is to build a kitchen addition. Kitchen's very small. And to create a better way to get into the mudroom area, which is difficult to see in the drawings, but it's very awkward the way that it is now. It's connected to the house with a roof, but it's open. So you can walk between the garage and the house to get to the rear yard. and then you're down a half a flight to get into the basement, and you go up a half a flight to get to the house. All within these odd retaining walls. So we're closing that in and turning it into a proper mudroom. When you see the rear elevation, the main gable that's new, running up and down the middle of the section there, is the bottom is the kitchen. The next level is a laundry room and master bathroom. And then we're trying to create better access into the attic, which is has existed as living space for the last 100+ years. So on the front elevation, again, it's the mudroom roof that you see with the side door that's been added. And then the detailing of the sunroom on the left is now similar, but in keeping with the style of the existing house.
So are you doing
Original.
anything to the main area? Nothing, or I mean, besides repairing some siding? Are the columns? different?
We are changing the columns from around, they're kind of a little undersized. They're like tapered fluted columns, and we're changing them to square columns, which will now match the style of the pilasters on the sunroom.
Are those pilasters staying the original?
On the main house, they are.
Oh, okay.
They're paneled 2-story pilasters.
Okay.
Those are, yes. And then they're, again, duplicated wherever there's new on the main house. The addition on the back has them. We didn't put them on the garage just so that it was subordinate to the house.
Okay.
So
So the garage is losing a door in the back, a glass door in the back?
yes. Yeah. And then we're changing out the garage overhead doors as well.
So those windows are actually to the mudroom, are in the
Yes.
mudroom? Yeah.
Yes, on the rear.
Mhm.
Right. So that is an addition that connects the garage to the house.
Yeah. And as I recall, that side of the rear elevation doesn't face anything, I don't think.
Face anything?
Yeah, another house, because are they kind of at a dead end?
Well, they really don't face anything. Matter of fact, there's a huge like rock outcropping behind the house that's probably 8 or 10 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it really doesn't show up here very well, but yeah, it's like you can climb up on top of that rock and be at the level of the second floor. And it's not that far behind the house. So fitting the addition in, again, was just a little bit of a challenge to get it to, to leave them some room back there, which will just be terraced up to the base of the rock outcropping. Can we go to the other elevations? Sides. So the main difference in the left side elevation there, or sorry, it's actually the right side, but it's on the left side of the drawing. The bay window that was existing came out, and the mudroom addition is sliding over. There was quite a bit of conversation about obviously the elevations with the landmark committee. And we actually took all of their comments into consideration and made adjustments. The left side elevation, which is on the right side of the drawing, you can see the difference in the sunroom with the pitched roof, and it's filled with glass with the pilasters in between. Obviously, the big addition that's popping out the back And then in the background, again, you see the existing garage roof and then a lower roof which covers the mudroom.
Do the dormers on the back of the main house and the dormer on the new addition intersect? Do you have a roof plan?
They do intersect. They meet at a 45-degree valley. And the dormer that you see in the left side elevation where you see the window, that is there specifically for headroom for the staircase, because the house, although it's a landmark house, doesn't mean it's perfect either. It's far from that. When you come in the front door and you walk towards the back of the house, there's actually a room that's under a landing and it's less than 7 feet tall, the headroom. So we're revising the staircase to get them all to be proper stairs and heights and rise and run and all that sort of thing. And so when you follow that all the way up through the house, the staircase would hit the roof in the new plan. And so we're using that dormer for headroom. And again, we're just sort of matching it with the existing dormer.
So do you have a roof plan?
We didn't submit a roof plan, but we have a roof plan.
Because I'm not sure what's happening with the roof between the garage and the main house.
Yeah,
It looks very convoluted between those
Well,
two elevations, and I can't tell what you're
yeah.
doing.
it's that was a recommendation by the landmark committee. It was not that way previously. It actually blended with, and it went at the same pitch as the garage roof.
Right.
I agreed with their comments. Because, wow, we're really getting a walk through
Yeah.
the files at this point, but this is in an effort to show you the roof plan, I guess. Therese, can we see the front elevation while you're doing that, like underneath it, or?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't have the PDF ready, so it's just.
Oh, okay.
A moment.
Well, let's just hold off for 1 second with it,
Okay.
because I think looking at the
Oh.
front elevation, it may help.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Okay.
so if you look at the ridge of the garage, originally it went all the way to the left, and the mudroom was all the same roof essentially. And it was a request of the landmark committee that we create that notch so that the garage looked like it was separated from the house, as opposed to being just an extension of it.
Okay.
And I like that comment because it does do that, I think. And so now the front roof, it blends in, so it's the same pitch, but you can't have it both ways. So we had to, when you hit the ridge, then it goes back down at a shallower pitch in order to separate the two roofs. And that's what
Right.
you're seeing from the backyard, or
Right.
from that side view.
And I think that's what, I mean, at least without looking at the whole plan, that's what looks a little awkward to me on the side elevation, but I kind of get what you're doing now. Okay.
Yeah, they were very concerned about roof lines, and again, I thought their comments were really, well conceived, and again, we honored all of their requests to not have roof lines align on the one side, not to have the roof line and the pitch be the same over the sunroom.
Right.
So
I mean, I think in general, if everything's fine, those dormers just seem kind of odd to me. And I'm sure you've worked it out many times in plan, but
well, structurally, they were, needless to say, a bear, because it's a
Right.
valley within a valley. But
And you're making a bigger dormer on the main house, right?
Yes. Yeah. So, it's one of those things where once we had the need for the dormer on the left and the dormer on the right, existed, the dormer on the left needed to be a certain height. So then if we put it next to a lower dormer, it was very awkward. So
Well, I mean, why doesn't the base of the dormer on the main house meet the base of the new addition dormer? So it's
Only-
not so tall.
So the one on the main house, actually, the reason is the one on the existing drawing actually does come all the way out to the wall
So it's wrong on your
on the
existing drawing.
existing. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the new one, again, just creating headroom becomes like a little window seat in that area. And to make it taller and taller and deeper is just not necessary. So it was more important for us to have the roof lines line up. And so when you see that in perspective, which will be hard to do anyway, just with the height of it, there'll be two windows that are matching with just a
Okay.
little bit more siding under the one window compared to the other.
Okay. Because you pulled it out. Oh, because that's where it is now. is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
right. And the other one, it doesn't come out as far.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you can also see that mudroom roof in the right side elevation. You can see it dashed in. Right through
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
garage.
That helps. That helps. Okay. I'm on the left side elevation, you have I guess those two windows actually intersect the eave board. Or is that a mistake?
No, that's existing.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's
existing.
unfortunate
Hmm.
because we found old photos where those windows were actually lower. And
Hmm.
at
Oh,
some
yeah, you've
point,
got it up top. That is existing.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. I'm
I'm
good
fine.
with my comments.
It's very nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, thank you. You're approved.
okay,
Yep, approved.
thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Yep, bye.
I'm here and I think we're next.
Yes, Bill, you are next.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Well,
Good to see you. I'm going to share my screen. And
so we are
hopefully
where now? Gray Rock?
We are on 80 Brevoort Road.
Oh, okay.
Brevoort Road off of Route 120.
Got it. Okay.
As you all well know, there are two pieces of Brevoort Road that don't connect, and we are on the one side and the Zimmermans are on the other side. And that confuses everybody. So, again, 80 Brevoort Road, you see the aerial, right? Everybody sees an aerial view there.
Mhm.
Oh, well, here, am I sharing my screen and you see an aerial or?
Yeah.
Correct?
We're
Yes.
seeing an aerial.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure. This is a ranch style house and we're doing a very simple project here. At the moment, the house has no overhangs, and I'll show you the front elevation there. And you see that, in fact, it has no overhangs around all four sides of the house. There are water issues, needless to say, in certain places that result from having no overhangs. And so this project is about creating the overhangs 12 inches out all around the house, the gable ends as well as the eave ends. And I'll show you quickly, this is the front of the house. This is the left side and front of the house. Obviously the grade goes down and The basement is fully above grade on the rear. This is the right side of the house. And then this is the rear of the house. So all around these, the four sides, as it were, we're doing the extension of the overhangs. I'll show you in a second the drawings. There's another rear picture. Here's the left side neighboring house. Most of the houses are the same style, ranch or sort of raised ranch versions. This is the house to the right. This is the house, one of the houses across the street. So all, low scale, colonial style. And this is another house across the street, directly across the street. I'll show you the drawings. There's site plans, floor plans. One piece that I want to point out, maybe I'll go back for a second, sorry. We are also going to create a cover for the front porch. Right now, you see the front door there. The front door and side lights will remain. We're going to create a sloping roof overhang, continuing this upper section of roof over the front porch, and then add a column at the corner of the front porch so that we can get a bigger cover over the front porch. Right now, this fascia is about 2 feet out from the front door. And so when standing at the front door, you're still getting exposed to the weather elements. So they wanted to find a way to cover the front door, keep water from coming directly down onto the porch. And so you'll see in the drawings, we're going to extend this roof down and out and have a column at the corner. So now I'll go back down to the drawings. So here's that front elevation. I'll expand the drawing a bit so you can see that new overhang here. And then the column will support that corner. There's a flat soffit that gets extended out. And it's really, as you can see, just an extension of that main roof overhang and then coming down and meeting the existing eave line. Around the rest of the roof, you see the indication of the extension of the overhangs, both on the gable ends as well as on the eave sides. I'll show you, here's the right side elevation. Oh, sorry, do it this way. This shows that new overhang over the front porch and the extension of that existing roof line.
Is the roof pitch, is it straight and flat? Does it just keep going, or is there a break in it bending it up?
Sorry, it's the same pitch.
It is, okay.
Yeah, so there's a line there just trying to
won't see
indicate
that,
a
right?
new section.
Okay.
Quick, just to show you the detail of this overhang. Sorry, went too fast. So we're pitching the underside of the overhang. There's existing 2x6 rafters, and so we're extending those 2x6s with new tails that get attached to the existing rafters, and then putting soffit board on the underside of that sloping rafter, and then essentially the same gutters, installing new gutters out on the fascia board, but matching the same height of fascia board that's existing. So that's the overhang detail. Here's the rear elevation. Nothing mysterious about these, just indicating those overhangs. And then the right side elevation, same thing. So
I
the
saw
siding
a funny window
I'm sorry?
combination there. I thought I saw a funny window combination there in the side photograph that you had.
on the photo. Do we go
Yeah,
back there?
that left side, I was just curious. No, it's okay.
all of-
It's on this drawing. Those two windows are butted together there.
Above the garage she's talking
Yeah.
about.
There's the existing. We're not changing.
Yeah, you
the
can't do
windows.
anything. I see.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
re-roofing the
Oh, I
whole
see the
roof, or you-
taller.
You're
probably
patching or you're re-roofing the whole roof?
not re-roofing the whole roof even. It's just adding on, you're saying these two windows.
Yeah.
Diane? Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all the windows are existing, the siding's existing. Yeah, so we're
Yep.
just
can't do any.
adding on the overhang and adding, the roofing is relatively recent, so we'll be able to match the same roof shingles to it.
I'm fine with it. I think it's
Fine.
all good.
Yeah.
Okay, simple enough.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All
thanks.
right. Have a good
Thanks,
evening,
Bill.
everyone.
Have a good night, Bill.
We'll see you soon.
Tom, you look sharp.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Feel underdressed, you know?
Okay, so the next application is 30 Cabin Ridge. We have Ed Elliott on.
Okay, so I just unmuted myself. Now I got to figure out how to share my screen.
Is there anyone else joining you?
Mike DeBella should be on the connection, but I don't see him on the, oh, I'm not seeing all the people here. And looks like, yeah, he's there.
Yeah, he's
I got a
waving.
picture of him now. Okay, Mike is the owner of the property. Let me pull up first, get rid of something here.
Goodbye.
That was nice. That wasn't what I wanted to get rid of, but okay, that's start with coming in. There's a variety of styles of houses in the neighborhood. The property itself is about 14 acres, so there aren't too many people around, and the ones that are around, I think to the garage, the nearest one is a little bit over 200 feet away from the actual garage building. The garage building is proposed to be
You have a site
180.
plan? You have a site plan you can?
Yes, I
show?
do. I'll get to that later. Let me try to just go through these photographs if they're going to let, it's not letting me go to the next one. Why is that? Oh, maybe, there we go. So seeing just different types of siding on the houses, more are this type of colonial than anything else, with horizontal siding or shakes, or one house I think actually has shingles. Then you've got this more modern house with different pieces further down the street, and then this one with the shingles. So a variety of styles around the neighborhood. That takes care of those. Let me get this out of my way and go to our drawings.
Where is this? Which address is this?
30 Cabin Ridge.
Oh, okay.
And
The,
where is that?
This is just south of the intersection of Route 100 and the Taconic Parkway. It's on the south east side of that intersection. Now, if I can figure out how to make this smaller, put it on the screen, and go back to page 1.
Wait, did you show us the photos of the house? That's what,
No, I didn't get to the house yet. Someone asked to see a site.
oh, okay, all right.
So coming in on the left bottom corner is Campfire Road, and then Cabin Ridge splits about 200 feet in from the entrance off Campfire and goes around in a big circle, comes back on itself somewhere on the lower side over into here. And the road at one point actually goes through the property, which I don't see anything on the surveys indicating there's an easement, but the road goes through there, and the other neighbors further back have this access to their property on this side. So in any case, the black box on here is the proposed garage. Right now, there are 2 separate foundations there from previous buildings that were on the site, and we're looking at reestablishing them. Both of them actually still have their concrete slabs and the walls. What we're looking at doing is, because they're offset from each other, the building to the right, let me go to the next slide, which everybody's picture is in the spot where I need to click. Let me see if I can move. There we go. And that didn't go to the next slide. Why not? There we go, that way. So we've right now got the original building on the property is a one-story log and stone house. There's some pieces that were added on the back after that, which we are going to match the style of that portion of the building with the new garage. Then there's another little cabin that's between the two of them down the hill a little bit. Everything that's above on the screen here pitches down towards the Taconic Parkway. What we've got is a foundation on the left side that's in front of the foundation on the right. We're looking at squaring off the foundation in the back so we can get a stair up to a second story. For the time being, going to be storage. It may be a family room in the future, something like that. But we're looking at right now, it's a storage space above this. Have a staircase that you'll enter from a door on the left side behind the part that's proposed as a shop. The right side will be a garage bay. The next story, that's a detail of the inside of how he's setting up his shelving. Mr. DeBellis is a shop teacher, so he's got his wood shop in this left side and how it's all broken down with the shelving and where the tools are. Going upstairs, the stairs in the back. It's not even the back. It's still some dividers that we're putting in between in the structural plan showing the framing. So let me go to the next floor. There's the next floor. Coming up to the top of the stair, just one big open space, 2 sliding glass doors out to a small balcony in the front of the building, which gives us an overhang over the front doors so that when you're coming in and out of the garage or the shop, you've got at least I think it's a 3.5 foot overhang. It's a straight gable, front to back ridge, and we're taking the same materials that are on the house, the vertical shiplap siding with board and batten. So any pieces that are too long will be beveled, cut, and just continuous pieces of wood up and down with the 1x3 boards for the seams.
Why do
The
you have
roof-
that? Why do you have that post supporting the main gable off the balcony?
That was
It almost
because-
looks like a duplex building.
That is because of what is there now. The piece on the left side is built for 1 story now, and it was built framed the opposite direction that we would have liked to have done it to get that overhang on. Rather than rebuilding that section, we decided to use that and put a post down.
I'm talking
To
about the
carry the weight
post
of the
up.
roof.
I'm talking about the post up.
The post
Do you need
up.
that?
Okay, that I think I actually eliminated that and it didn't come out of the drawing. Let me
I
go
think
back
that looks
to
really
the
odd.
previous drawing.
Can you show us the existing house, the existing structure?
Okay, let me find that.
Photos? Oh, they weren't in this, okay.
They're in the submission that I saw.
Okay,
that I sent.
here's the house as this faces the garage now. So what we're doing is mimicking the part on the left side that was the additions to the house with the garage. So we'll have a concrete block foundation, the board and batten siding, the Anderson windows on the new garage. It will be double hungs, but they will be white to match this. The trim will have the same bronze color, bronze gutters, and the roof shingles will be the same shingles that are on the roof of the house. Let's see. And this doesn't want to move forward. Another piece, the back of the house, long piece on the side when it was being primed and painted, and some boards being replaced. The front of the house. And right now, this is the one bay that's going to be the garage. I don't have the other pictures handy on this. I can get them out to show you what is there now. Let's see, I think they're down somewhere about this far. There we go. So this part is already built. And because it's framed left to right, we need to support this point. And I think that I had eliminated that piece on the roof, so I don't think the column has to go up, but I do need a column on the left of this, between the two bays of the garage buildings, and on the right side.
Yeah, just for the first floor.
Yeah,
that
I don't think it had-
column supporting the ridge looks really kind of odd to
No,
me.
that shouldn't be there anymore. Originally, we were looking at doing something different with the framing, and I don't know why. Actually, I had somebody else do the drawing. I was doing the structure, and I missed coordinating that.
Right. Well, we always like to have drawings that match what you're really doing.
So that's pretty much what we've got. Any questions?
Anyone?
Um,
Okay, so we gotta clean up, just put some notes on the elevation and take that visual column out. Is that the only change we're asking for?
yeah, I get that's fine with me if he does that.
Okay, do we need to come back to this board for that, or just go forward with the building permit with the revised change?
I'll let you make that call.
Are the south elevations and the west elevations, those are,
I've got to get back to that now. Where'd it
yeah,
go?
and if you could make the screen bigger, please.
Yeah, that's bigger, but I don't want that one. I want the other one. Where'd it go? That was what I had open. Where the heck was the one that I had? I lost it. Those are the photographs.
Maybe the submission.
There we go. That one. Okay, so we go to the other side. The south elevation is the back. We've got the staircase coming up in between, so that's shown dotted. A couple of windows flanking the staircase. And then the other side elevation has the door in the back, just a couple of windows and the balcony. So the columns will be illuminated in the center. I think I'm going to need
Well, I'm not.
them
Well, now
inside.
I'm not. Now I'm not sure. So you have those. You have all three columns going all the way up, I suppose, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of take that back. It just seems that middle one just seems so odd going so tall, but now I'm not sure if getting rid of it makes it any better. But
Where is it in line with the facade? Is it in front of it? Is it in it? Is it?
It's in front of the facade. It's even with the outside of the balcony.
Looks like it's
Oh,
in
it's in
front
front.
of
It's really in
the balcony, the rail.
front. Rail. All right, you can see
Yeah, it's
on the
even with
left,
the
bottom
railing.
left. Yeah, I can see it in the bottom left. Is it necessary? It's not necessary to hold up the ridge, is it?
Let's see. No, we do not have a ridge beam. We are using straight gable framing so that we have ceiling ties to hold the roof from spreading, but there is no ridge beam. At one time, there was going to be a ridge beam, and it got extremely big for this span.
but you need something to keep.
I need the
Need something to
beams on
keep
the
this-
outside edges to hold the roof up, and then the
Right.
post.
So you do need it.
I could actually take the column away from the second floor, and then I'd have to do a roof over the balcony that would be about 2/3 of the way up between the top of the doors and the bottom of the peak.
I mean, I think visually what I like to do is cut the length of that column. So if you just put a horizontal member, don't even fill it in. So you have this cruciform shape to
I
tie
think
the
next
gable
page
together.
Yeah, if
I think that
the-
would make more sense to me.
at the same height as the roof
Could be
ties
mid,
here.
could be midpoint of the
Put a
gable.
put a trim board outside like this to match that height.
Yeah,
I think
something
that
like
would
that.
actually, yeah.
I think
Okay, that
just
works for
visually
me.
well, visually and also it would probably help you structurally.
Yeah, it'll keep the column from trying to sway in the breeze.
Correct. I'm okay if he draws it on the PDF and comes back to us at the end of the meeting, if you guys are okay with it.
No,
What
that's
about the
fine.
one on the bottom of the middle? Is that necessary either? It's not really holding up the second floor.
Yeah, he said it was.
It is.
Okay with that
Is
one.
it? That's a structural column?
Those are all structural columns.
Okay.
That's what are we saying? So can you go back to the front elevation, please? So we're gonna take out the top center column and we're gonna put a horizontal member instead.
No, I would
No.
leave the top center and just add a horizontal just to cut that visual length of that middle column.
I'm going to show a piece of trim that'll start about halfway up between the top of the door and the bottom of the ridge in the middle, and do something about 10 inches tall crossed from one side to the other in here. I don't know if you can see my cursor moving.
Right. And you would leave it open on the
Leave
triangles.
it wide open. It'll just be a beam that's trimmed out to match the column.
That's what I would suggest, Bob. I don't know if you want to get rid of the column. At first I said get rid of it, but it makes more sense to keep it now, I think.
I'm probably indifferent, I guess. Anybody have an opinion?
I'm in agreement with Stan. That was the one thing that popped out, was that column.
Okay. Ann, you okay with this?
Yeah, I'm fine with, I mean, yeah. Well, if he can draw it and then we can see it.
So can you draw it, sir, and then, and then
I'll
come
just
back
get right
into
on
the
that.
room? You
Okay.
can just draw it by hand and initial, and then you can come in after the next applicant and we'll just take a peek at it and then we'll approve it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Do we move on to the next
Where are
one?
we on now? Daisy? Did we lose
You're
Daisy?
on mute.
She's
Dave.
on mute.
We need to, Ed, can you stop sharing your screen?
I can't get the thing to show back up to, there we go, stop share,
All right, thank
finally.
you.
And-
Okay. So our next application is Sweet Greens. They've returned for both the awning and the sign. Who's on? Daniel?
Correct. That is correct. Good
Hi,
evening.
Daniel.
This is Chapel
Were you?
Crossing?
This is Chapel Crossing. This was the application. They were not given the sign regulations for Chapel Crossing, so they had to return. Tom had already reviewed them and they meet the criteria, correct, Tom? For Chapel Crossing, so now they're just before you.
They're ready, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Has anything changed or just verification that it complies?
Yes, it has changed for the blade sign and reduced the awning size. And I just need to find what I'm sharing. If I find it.
So are you with the sign company or who are you with?
Correct. I am the permit provider for the sign company, the installers. Cat Signs. My name is Daniel. And what we are proposing is, this is the front of the store, the Sweet Greens.
We're not able to see it.
You're not?
No, we're seeing your emails.
Oh. This is,
Maybe unshare and share again. Oh, there you go.
There
Now
you
we
go.
see.
There you go.
excellent. Thank you. So this is the front of the store. We are proposing the Sweet Greens channel letters and the 2 banners on each side. That is the front of the building. And this will be the back of the building. Also, same channel letters and two smaller canopies.
Are those awnings on both
Oh,
sides?
Correct, awnings, I'm sorry, awnings.
Can you just show us the construction of the letters
Yeah.
or the sign?
Is it? So the channel letters, the 12.41 square footage.
What's lighting up in on the letters?
It's just the letters. They are in a cabinet, I believe they are.
Are these individual pin letters, or is each just a section through an individual letter?
They are individual letters,
Yeah, they look like individual pin letters.
correct.
But I don't understand what's lighting up. So the face of the letters are acrylic,
Yes,
but you show them as green, and then it says white acrylic.
It says aluminum letters.
No, but number 2 said, oh, I don't know what I'm reading.
White, it says white LED units, must be white lighting.
No, but I see white acrylic face. I don't understand what's lighting up is what I'm saying. Are the sides white
Oh, it looks
acrylic
like
or
the
is the front?
sides are it looks like the sides are the acrylic. How deep are these letters?
It's 3 inches deep aluminum. So it must be the front that's acrylic.
Is
But
the
you're
whole
showing-
letter not lit? It looks like, I don't know. I don't know there's no measurement, but top and bottom looks solid. It's not part of the
Interior painted high gloss white.
I know, but what's lighting? They're 10.5-inch tall letters. You've got LEDs in the back. I assume the
Oh,
front
those
front
acrylic
face of the letters
faces.
are glowing, but you're showing them as green something.
Yeah, it's what does it say? There's a green vinyl, day night vinyl applied.
Oh, perforated vinyl. Oh, so like micro perforated vinyl, so it looks green during the day.
correct.
Daniel, can you jump in and help us?
So for on the sides that I've seen on our shop, they are individual letters, and that's just the way they will light up. This green part that you see is just the outside of the letter. It's not that's how it's going to be, right? So imagine this is going to be all green throughout.
I
No,
see.
we
I'm looking
understand that,
online.
Daniel, but I
Uh,
think
look
the
on-
front is green perforated vinyl, like micro perfed, on top of a white acrylic, so that during the day it looks like a green letter, but at night you see the light coming through.
Mhm.
I'm
And I'm
putting
asking for
something in
your
the
help.
chat. Look at the link I put in the chat.
Oh,
We allowed to chat.
that looks backlit, right? And
Yeah.
That looks backlit. So, and I mean, it's a different logo, but
actually, they have their E reversed on that one too.
yeah, yeah. And when the G is different, it's an older logo.
Oh, okay.
Is that what we're talking about, Daniel?
I am not able to see what you share.
Oh, I'm not sharing. There's a link that if you could click on the link and look at it
Where do you have a link in? Where
in the chat.
chat? Oh, the Zoom chat. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my phone. Okay.
For some reason, I don't have the same screen. I can see the chat.
Okay. Yeah, I see some sweet, but we can't assume this. We can't make.
No,
it
I'm
just-
asking if that's what it, I'm asking Daniel if
Well,
that's what it is.
I mean, what I don't know which picture in the link you're looking at, but I mean, those are reverse channel letters, right?
Yeah.
That's not how this is drawn up. I mean, this is, the LEDs are facing out towards the parking lot here.
The way I read his detail is It's like those bus graphics. You can kind of look out if you're inside the bus and look out, but from the outside, it looks like a picture. So I think it's a picture of a green vinyl letter, but it's perforated. So at night, when you light behind it, you see it looks like an illuminated sign. But I kind of want Daniel to say that rather than me interpreting it.
That's pretty much the idea, correct? It's supposed to be light up and make it look that it's green throughout the night, through the day.
I don't know, I have a hard time approving something we don't really understand, even though concept, if we're right, it looks fine.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the sign shape and size and everything. I just would like you to maybe even just show an example of what it looks like during the day and night and
Yeah, if you
explain it
showed
better.
an example, that would help.
Do you have photographs from other sweet green buildings that you can show us that would look the same?
I do not have any pictures, existing pictures at the moment. At this time, I'm in my house. I don't have the PDFs or access to all my files.
How about the awnings? Do you have sections through the awnings? We can see the profile off the building.
Yes. So they're all going to be the same fabric, and they are attached to the aluminum side of the building. Side of the building.
Okay, that seems fine.
Yeah, I think the awnings are fine.
So can you bring us something next time to have us better understand what we're getting for the sign? Because again, it's hard to approve something when we're not certain, and then if you go build it and then it's not exactly what we expected, well, you know, it's hard to tell what we're exactly getting.
So
Are
show
we-
examples of it.
Return or? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he needs to.
Unless he can find something in the next, 20 minutes.
Okay, 20 minutes.
Well,
Show us how the letters
that's
are
an
supposed to look
estimate.
at night, lit up, and how they look during the day, and maybe a better explanation of what, I mean, are they going to be, at night, is it going to be a white letter because the light's shining through? Or is it going to look like a glowing green letter?
It's going to show like it's glowing green letters. Excuse me.
If you can get us some good, close-up, so we really know what we're looking at, photos maybe of this installation on another of the facilities, and add it to the record, that might be okay.
Okay, I'm going to contact my project managers to see if he has some of those pictures, like live pictures
Okay.
from other projects.
Okay.
Is there still the blade sign, or is that gone away now?
Exactly. That was part of the proposal. Now that the blade sign is no longer in the scope of work.
Okay.
It has been removed.
Okay,
So
thank you.
if you can do that, and if it's ready before the end of the meeting, then we'll call you back in. If not, you'd have to return to our next meeting.
Sounds good. I'll try to do this right now.
Okay. All right. If you can stop sharing your screen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I just share my screen real quick?
Sure.
So it's from what I see here, it's like if you look at this national sign, this
You're
is what's
freezing
called a
up, Stanley.
day-night vinyl. So it looks like blue during the day, and at night it lights up white. So it's not really, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So I think we need to get some more clarity from him.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Can we go to the next
Okay.
applicant?
Thank you. So the next application is 73 South Greeley for both the building facade and the sign. Joel?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Can you put the drawings up on the screen, Daisy? Can you hear me, Daisy?
She's
You're on mute.
Daisy on mute.
Still on mute.
Yeah, but here he is.
I'm getting it. Hold on.
Oh, thank you.
Changed a lot.
Very good. As you recall, we were here a few meetings ago. We've decided to change the whole outside look of the building, and we're not going to put any of those wood panels that we talked about. So basically, all we're going to do now is just paint the brick, both the front and the back. We're going to put up we'll get the individual signs, come back to the board for the individual stores as soon as everything is set. But the only thing we're coming for tonight is basically the painting of the building and the sign, both front and back, saying the Chappaqua Building, which will basically be individual 8-inch black letters attached to the frieze board that's there right now. Of course, all the wood frames will be painted black, and basically that's it. The sconces will be put in the areas between the windows. These are the floor plans. Now, okay, if you just hold right there, I know it's on stone, but gives you some idea of what the lettering will look like. And below that, you see the sconces that we're going to be putting in between the various windows along the front and also on the back.
What color are you painting the brick?
The brick will be just an off-white, basically an off-white, to contrast to the window. All the window frames, which are wood, will be repainted in black, and the letters will be in black. And the mall area, which goes from front to back, we're not going to change anything there. It's all aluminum and aluminum and glass, storefront units, and the surface of the flooring area will stay the same. Basically, that mall area is not going to change at all. The only change is we're changing where we had a double door to 2 single doors because we have now 2 separate tenants, one in the front and one in the back. So we give them each their own entrance. But aside from that, there's no other change.
Okay.
Is the lighting fixture just kind of a filament kind of lamp?
Yeah, if Rick Daisy, you can put the drawing back showing that's basically what it is. There, it's right below that. Yes, it's exactly what it'll be, and I think it'll be a nice addition to the. It's also in the dark, almost black, and it'll be a nice contrast to the off-white brick.
Can you zoom in on that, Daisy, on the specs? I mean, that's a really low wattage light, right?
Yes.
What's the wattage? What kind of bulb is that?
Yeah, I don't.
I don't. Offhand, I don't know the answer to that question. But the overall length is basically it's about 10, 11 inches in width and about 23 inches in height.
That's the back plate. The actual light fixture is a little smaller.
Yes. Oh, correct. Yes, that's correct. But I think the whole idea was not to light up the whole street, but just to give some lighting to the front of the building, which again it's not lighting up Yankee Stadium.
Well, there is a light post in front of the building.
I think there's lighting in that soffit that comes out in the bottom of that soffit.
Is that what?
I don't
See lighting.
No,
here.
I don't think so.
There's a vent.
No, on the underneath side. in that eave of the piece that comes out.
Offhand, I don't recall it, but I don't think there was one there. But obviously I'll check it.
I'm looking at the photograph. I don't see it.
No, I don't see it. So I think basically what we're doing now is basically eliminating all the paneling that we talked about a few weeks ago and just basically painting the brick. It'll be a nice contrast to the different colored brick on either side of our building. And I think the contrast between the off-white and the black painting of all the frames will also make a nice contrast.
So this submission is also for the Chappaqua building sign, right?
Correct, yes. And again, those will be the individual letters that you see in that other photograph that Daisy has shown you.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, it'll be
Those
basically.
letters
Those letters will be, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Illuminated in any way? How do people see the sign at night? Is there lighting on it?
We didn't show any lighting, but
None of the other signs have any lighting.
Yeah.
I mean, at night, it basically not much is going on in town.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. I think you've got the black letters, and it just was said by Ann that there's some, I guess, some street lighting over there too that help the situation.
Okay.
And as I said, as we finalize the rental of the other units, we will come back for their signs. I think we probably came a little too quick the last time we came to your board, but we'll.
And do you think these pin letters will get lost?
I'm sorry?
I was saying to Ann, don't you think the pin letters will get lost once you start putting tenant signs to the left and right?
And let me go back to that. It's very fine lettering, but you don't have a spec sheet for just that sign, do you? I'm looking at your other submissions.
No, it's
here.
just
You have several submissions.
Yeah, I mean, just basically the letters are like Daisy just showed you on that those brick pillars. It'll just be individual letters attached to the.
What are they made of?
Now, also
plastic, metal. What are they made of? Wood?
No, they'll be plastic.
Plastic.
Okay, and I think just to allay the concern of the other board members, I think what we'll do is we'll try to keep something similar for the other units as they come in. And I think obviously when we bring those in, you'll see them along with the Chappaqua sign, and we'll try to obviously do something that's doesn't take away from the other.
I mean, Stanley, I don't mind that it's subtle.
Okay.
So it's not blaring
Right.
Okay.
out.
Yeah, I think it becomes the tenants will be the
Yes.
primary signage,
Right.
and
this is just a
that
secondary.
becomes kind of a secondary type.
Mhm. It's almost like
Okay.
a house number.
Okay.
Is there a color notation on this somewhere so that a record of the color? Do you pick a specific color?
Yeah, yes. As I said, the brick will be off-white and everything else.
But there's 200 off-whites.
What's that?
There's 200 off-whites.
Did you pick a specific color, and is it written down on the drawing?
And same with the black. I mean, if you just give a Benjamin Moore color and.
Oh, okay, I can get that to Daisy tomorrow. So
We need a real specification submitted in.
I mean, I find it's a shame that it's being painted because it's a long strip of brick, but.
It's a lot better than the plastic panels they were proposing.
Yes, it is, definitely.
Usually.
Yeah.
Now there's an off-white next door at the dentistry, the off-white, the shutters. I mean, it's got a lot of yellow in it, but
Right.
What I'll do is I'll go and get the samples from the paint store, and I will submit those to Daisy, and I'll get you also the color of the individual letters for the Chappaqua building.
And also Anne, you would want to know what font they're using, I suppose, right?
Yeah, I was just
Well,
gonna say,
Sarah,
the sample is like a modern font, and then what's drawn is more traditional, sort of.
What sample?
At the right above what he had in his packet, right above the filament
Oh,
sconce.
Oh, on the
go back-
stone. I think that was just a example of what they would look like. Just in terms of how they stand against the building, right?
Right. Oh, there we go. And which you were talking about the off-white, is that the building to the right?
Well, it's kind of a yellow, yeah. Yeah, you can see it there.
Oh, yeah, I don't think.
Those shutters look off-white when on the photo that I'm looking at, which is a
Yeah.
Google photo.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
But I would say make sure they all coordinate, so it's.
Yeah, well, we'll pick an off-white that is not going to be, too much of a contrast to the other off-whites. Just don't want to get too much yellow in there.
Are you painting the brick up in the dormers white
Yes,
also?
everything. Yes, all the brick will be painted. Yes.
And also we need to know if the black is like a true black, or is it, you say charcoal black? Is it a gray black?
I will get samples to Daisy.
And that's on the existing, it looks like aluminum windows.
No, the ones at street level are wood.
But you're going to paint those, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Everything. Again, that's going to be the black, and I will get samples from the paint
Is this
store.
a current photo? Is the gutter going to get straightened out if it's not? I don't recall.
Oh yeah, anything like that that's not in good shape, obviously be corrected.
So I haven't been up close, but all those rectangular windows are wood, not metal.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
So is he returning for the December meeting?
Do we have to come back, or could we just, well, obviously we'll submit colors that are appropriate for this, so we can avoid.
Yeah, we just don't convene as a group.
Yeah, why don't you submit it, but then just come at the next meeting and you'll be in and out in 5 minutes. I'm sure if we just want to, take a look at it, we don't get together until the next meeting.
So
Oh,
the trim on the dormers is going to also be
Yes,
black?
yes.
Okay.
All right, Daisy, you let me know if the meeting is the 1st or the 8th. Let me know what the date is.
Yep.
Well, I'll get everything to you before the 1st, so that there's no problem. But I guess the board will decide which is the date for the next meeting. At the end
Yeah,
of-
I'll let you know. Mhm.
Okay. Sure. Oh, well, thank you so much, and have a great Thanksgiving. And if you're traveling,
too.
travel safe,
Thank you.
Thank you.
and get that turkey fast because they're going fast.
Mhm.
Good night.
Good night, Joel.
Good night, Tom.
Good night, Joel.
As Burns and Allen said, say good night, Gracie. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we have, I believe, Sam Gomez for GFIT training. He's returning.
Hello.
Hi, Sam. How are you?
What's up, guys?
Are you sharing your screen?
I can do that. Hold on a second.
If not, I can share. Let me know.
Okay. Can you share?
Sure.
Let me see.
It's also for a sign.
This is for a sign at 75 North Greeley. Yes, he's returning. We had asked him to return. We needed more of the specs and the border around the sign. Can you guys see that?
No, sorry, I'm looking at my own screen.
Okay, hold on.
Yes, I can see my own screen.
Okay. Now, Lori told me you
There we
came
go.
in this afternoon and brought in a second plan, which
Yeah,
is a
right.
green.
It's basic. Yes, exactly. It's basically the same thing. There you go. It's just a green border instead of a gray one, which is pretty much the one I wanted to go with. I think it stands out a little bit nicer, a little better. But I remember there was that. Another issue was they had written the word extrusion on there last time.
Yes.
So they changed that up and put 1-inch protrusion, which is the 5th bullet point down there. And then the third point was to find out if the lettering was, or if the sign on the front was vinyl, which yes, it is. So what she wrote down at the bottom there, printed vinyl on sign face.
But the face is aluminum.
Right.
Okay.
And so this is just a flat aluminum sign with just vinyl letters. So we need to work on the signage code in town, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Well, based on the current code, I think it's fine. You know, it's flat, but
So he submitted one with the green border, which is his first choice. And the second was a gray border.
I'm fine with the green.
I vote for green.
yeah, I'm okay with it. Gray's more tasteful, but I'm fine with green.
After we're done tonight, can we just go over a few things we want to kind of hit the town with, I guess, this being one of them?
Okay. Is he all good?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah,
Thank
he's
you.
fine.
All right, Sam.
All right.
You're all set.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good night, guys.
Night.
Next application is
Good
16
evening,
Hollow,
everyone.
16
Hey,
Hollow
Greg.
Ridge. Greg.
Oh, excuse me.
Hey, guys.
Are you, what are we doing? Are we sharing the screen?
Yeah, Daisy, can you do that? Because I still have not learned how to do that. So you'll have to be my,
Sure.
my helper. I appreciate it. So what do you guys want to start with? We basically submitted some samples of use of stucco in residential construction. And we also have updated our plans with a detail showing the blank, so-called blank facade of a garage. And we also have some just detailing that you guys saw already for, and we have just a sample of stucco as well.
Is that what this is, this gray?
Correct, yeah. We're using,
I wasn't sure what that was.
yes, it's a smooth stucco. So why don't we just start with garage wall. So the changes we made, Daisy, can you scroll down unless someone has more questions? So the changes were made, keep going. Right there.
Right
So
here.
that's a garage wall in question is right there. So we basically used, Stanley, what we discussed,
Right.
basically similar language of using clapboard and
right.
Horizontal window.
Yep.
We added to the lower portion of the wall.
Yep. I think that helps.
Yeah, actually, I think it helps too, and it's a nice addition. It kind of pulls everything together. In fact.
Did you want me to
then
keep going?
The stucco,
you
it's
added on the
again, we
rear.
go, I know we're kind of talking semantics here, but it's still IFAS, it's still stucco on top of styrofoam, right? Or not styrofoam, polystyrene.
Well, because we have highly insulated house, we have 2 inches of insulation on top of 2x6 cavity wall.
Right.
So that's natural for us to get the R rating that we would like to achieve for energy efficiency
Mm-hmm.
in green features. So that's just the materiality of what we're doing here.
But it does look very different than a traditional stucco over wire lath over, plywood or some other backing material.
No, it does not. In this particular case, it's exactly the same process. The question is how many layers you're putting on. So,
Right, but
if you're using traditional stucco process, whether it's back to the plywood or in this case insulation, you're still working over the either plastic or metal screen, and then you're just using it to achieve the consistency that you're looking for.
Right, but you would have probably a 3-coat stucco on top of plywood.
That's correct.
And metal screen, and this is 1-coat acrylic stucco on extruded EPS board.
No,
So,
we're actually looking at using traditional methods here.
okay, that's different than the detail you showed at the site. Do you have that detail on this sheet?
Yeah, I mean, I think that shows.
It looked like just regular old IFAS 1-coat acrylic on top of plastic mesh.
No, it's I don't think I don't think it's specified it, but we're looking just to do traditional. That's the only way you can get smooth stucco anyway, by using 3-coat.
Right, and that's our point. We want it to look like traditional sharp edge.
And totally,
Okay.
and that's what we want as well, because this is obviously high-end home, and as you can see, we take care of designing it in such a way that it has, modernist, clean lines, and
Right.
that, I think we're on the same page exactly.
Okay,
Well, I
but
think we want to see a detail to get on the same page.
I mean, if we're going to agree to it, it's got to be more than words. It's got to be on the drawing.
It's, well, as I said, if we look at the detail, it just shows it as a stucco. I mean, we can certainly
but last
specify
time
it would be a 3-coat.
you had a sheet. You had a sheet with 4 details on it, and
Right.
it
Daisy,
showed.
do you want-
I
do you
believe
want-
it showed something different.
Let's just take a look at it. I don't believe so, but if it wasn't clear, we'll be perfectly happy to clarify it.
Is it from
Daisy,
the
do you
original
have
submission?
Do you have a
The original?
detail which I sent to you prior?
From the last meeting?
No, there was an intermediate email which had a detail in it and revised set that was sent prior to our on-site meeting.
Gosh, I'd have to check my emails. Hold on.
I can share my screen if you want.
Stanley, can you share, please?
Yeah, hang on.
At one point, I will learn how to share a screen, but I just don't feel comfortable enough.
Okay.
I have to stop sharing mine, right?
Oh yeah, if you could.
Yeah, right there. Mm-hmm.
Right. Do you see mine?
Yes.
It doesn't say.
We can just
just
clarify
says-
saying it's a 3-coat stucco, but I don't think it just says stucco. It doesn't say
Right.
anything about acrylic.
I mean, on all of them except detail 3, it just looks like a thin layer of stucco.
As I said, I mean, the intention here is to use, and what it shows is stucco. If we used acrylic stucco, we would certainly specify as such. But we can clarify it. We can just say 3 layers of smooth stucco to achieve smooth surface.
So cementitious stucco, not
Yes,
acrylic stucco.
absolutely, no. There was
Okay,
never-
yeah, I think that'll go a long way, but I think we need to kind of see that.
We can certainly clarify just saying that it's cementitious stucco.
Yeah, probably 3-coat just to get the smooth surface, like you said.
Absolutely. That's the only way to achieve a smooth surface.
And also one of the overriding things we talked about when we met you out there is that this house is clearly a different style than the neighborhood. And we were more comfortable when we saw that it was not up on the main road, that it was kind of tucked in and nestled in away from most of the homes. But there was one home right next door, the 22 Hollow Ridge Road, right? And I think you mentioned to me, if I recall correctly, that they had been involved when the project got its site plan approval. You said they had been notified and they were aware of the project. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Again, it was before us. I mean, previous developer got a full site plan approval and they were involved. Yes, we were told they were involved.
So I did a little homework and I pulled the plans from that application.
Mhm.
And the house that was approved was a very colonial looking house that fit in the style of all the houses in that neighborhood. It was not a modern house. It was anything but a modern house. So that neighbor is expecting to see the house that got approved. And so, we're not saying no to you. We're not saying no to the modern house. I think a lot of us like a lot of what you've drawn, but we want the neighbor to be made aware of it. So we're asking that you please notify the resident at 22 Hollow Ridge Road. And we'd like them to join one of these meetings, excuse me, or at least have the opportunity to do it if they want to.
Sure. I thought you guys were going to do that, but it was not a problem. We can certainly reach out to them.
Okay. So for you, just the best thing to do for you is to send, certified mail or something, because if they don't respond, then it's not your fault, so to speak, but at least you can have some proof for the record that you've notified them. So if you can do that and give a copy of the letter and, the receipt from certified mail to Daisy, then they either respond or they don't. And then if they do, we'll listen to them. And if they don't respond, then we'll come see you, we'll meet with you again and we'll talk about, seeing if we can improve your house.
Okay. And how long is duration of that response we should be expecting?
I would think if you get it out immediately, get it out tomorrow, they'll have 2 or 3 weeks before the next meeting. That probably should be adequate. If they don't respond in 2 weeks, I would think that would be, fair
Okay.
time. Is that right? Is there a rule? Actually, I shouldn't talk like I'm the lawyer for the board. Do we know if there's a rule? I would think 1 meeting in between would be adequate. We're not trying to hold you up, but it's clear that neighbor is expecting a very different style house.
Absolutely. I have no issue with that. I mean, again, we don't have any history with them. Previous developer has, and seemed like they had a good relationship. So I have no problem doing that.
Okay, that would be great.
And Daisy, is there a format that you prefer to use in terms of a letter?
I'd have to speak with council about that.
If you have any
you.
suggestions, otherwise we'll just send them a general letter. And
I think generally, I spoke with council. I spoke with Ed, guys, Tom and Daisy. I spoke with them the other day.
Okay. I'm sorry, Robert. You spoke to?
I spoke to our council about this.
Oh, you spoke to your council. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. We'll be happy to do so.
Yeah, I think if you send a letter that, you have an application pending with the Architecture Review Board and, and they're cordially invited. Yeah, I think you should say actually that the house you're proposing is of a modern style. It's different than the more traditional style that was previously approved, and you're cordially invited to check the town records or attend the next Architecture Review Board meeting.
Okay.
I just want to make them aware. And again, we're not saying, we just think we're doing the right thing just to notify the neighbor.
I think you're doing the right thing. I think it's absolutely correct way to approach it. We'll have no issue with that. And
hopefully they'll love your house. So
well, as much as you guys.
Yeah.
So
if you turn it, I'll love it more, but just kidding.
So he's returning with the specs?
The stucco change, specifying the stucco in more detail in the letter from the neighbor, or some approval from the neighbor for the new design.
No, we're going to send a letter. Daisy, you'll get a copy of our submission of a letter, and then they either come to the next meeting or they won't come to the next meeting.
Right. Try to see if you can get something out tomorrow. And again, it's important just to know, to be on the record that the house you're proposing is modern. It's different than what was previously.
We will be happy. We will specify it.
Okay.
And Greg, we're going to discuss at the end of the meeting if the next meeting will be the 1st of the 8th. So I'll let you know.
Okay, but the only additional submission from us besides the record of a letter itself will be clarifying the stucco, 3-layer stucco, cementitious stucco on exterior.
I think so, yes.
Okay, no problem. So we'll update that detail. You'll have that detail tomorrow, and we'll get you a copy of a letter itself tomorrow as well.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good
I know it's
night.
getting late. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, so we have,
Edwin is ready to come back.
yes, he is. Ed,
Okay, I've got the drawing. I'm going to share screen now. Make this bigger. So the change is adding a horizontal member that matches the height of the ceiling ties inside the second floor and be the same trim as the column.
Okay, I think that helps.
Yeah, agree.
I'm good.
Okay.
all right,
You're
if you can
approved.
email that to me and just drop off a copy.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
You're all set. Have a good night. You can
Okay,
leave.
good night, everybody.
Right.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, is Daniel still on?
Daniel's still,
I see a little thumbs up
he's
from
still there.
DeBellis. That's nice.
Yes, for some reason my computer got shut down. Thank you for allowing me to come back. I do have some pictures from also green, sweet greens in another location. All right. And let's see if this works now. Can you see it? Can you see the screen now?
Mhm.
So that's white at night.
So that is lit, this is front lit, obviously through the day. This is the letter opened once installed. And this is, like I was saying, this is how we see it in the shop.
Oh, okay.
So it is green throughout. It's just when it's lit, it looks white.
Tom, is that white night lighting fit with the rules of the complex, or did we not know that? We checked.
I do not know that. I need to check that. That was not implied in the design.
God, they change their logo all the time. Look at the G on this one. It's completely different than what you just showed. They
All right,
can't.
I haven't
figure it
changed. I
out.
haven't changed this this screen.
Branding.
They haven't figured out the.
Right. So assuming for the moment that the white is allowed, because if it's not, obviously it doesn't matter. But if it is allowed, do we have comments to that? Do we?
No, I'm fine with it.
Fine with it.
Good.
I'm sure that Chappaqua Crossing has a little different night light
What's Whole Foods? Is it like
restrictions,
green at
right?
night?
Whole
What's
Foods must be lit.
But what color is it? Is it not green? Or the letter's not?
Yes. Also, I just want to know that this light, you see it, is not as bright just because it may be they may be the ones that are open like this picture here. Maybe that's why it looks so white. I couldn't really tell.
Well, do you want to come back and tell us then? I mean, we want to know what we're reviewing.
Yeah, I think you need to kind of confer with whoever and specifically tell us what we're seeing at night and during the day.
So the Whole Foods is lit in a similar way at
Oh, it
night.
is?
Yeah.
Is it green or white?
It's white.
Okay.
It is right.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm looking at a photograph right now of the Chappaqua Whole Foods.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want to check, or are you asking to get approval for something that's white at night?
It lits white. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry?
No, that it lits white. That's the point.
So can you add to the record, so to speak, submit formally those photographs to Daisy so that if it gets approved, we know that that's part of the review and approval. And then if Tom can check with Sabrina,
Yeah,
or
Tom,
check on your
confirm
own,
that.
and just confirm it.
Yeah.
If it's good, you're allowed, you'll be approved. And if it's not, we'll ask you to come back.
Just email me exactly what you just sent and we'll look into it. And if it's okay with Chappaqua sign regulations, Bob, it's approved?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, we should get those photos added to the record just so we have something
Yep.
to compare to.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Do I have to send them right now? Can I send it to you once I get to the office? I want to send you the actual pictures. These ones are just screenshots. Something
Tomorrow's fine.
That's
Tomorrow's
fine.
fine.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
You too.
You too, thank you.
You can stop sharing. Thanks. Okay,
More?
no more.
That's the end of the list. That was a long.
That was long.
And I don't want to keep anybody too long, but I guess there's two things that were brought up. Bob, you wanted to just make signs have some sort of dimension on them with letters.
Wait,
I think.
Daniel's still on. Daniel's still on.
Nope,
Is he?
he's off.
Okay, he left.
No, he's done.
Okay,
he left.
signage, if you recall, or if you don't, more than a few years ago, we've been talking about signage. The town board, who's of course changed over time, was very encouraging of, and I'm sure they still would be, but of upgrading the code for signage in town so that we could have nicer signage. Daisy was good enough to go out to a number of local towns that have stricter rules and frankly nicer downtowns than we do architecturally and signage wise, to use as a guide for us to cut and paste or use one and model after. I'm sure I have them still. I mean, we could recirculate them, but we need somebody to take the lead on it. And I'm asking, I don't want to take the lead on it. I've volunteered myself for many things and I need help on this. So I think others would pitch in and help, but somebody needs to volunteer to take the lead on it. So
I can
and
recirculate whatever I had originally sent.
and I'll take the lead going to the town board and that stuff, to integrate it, but somebody needs to take the lead and, look at the words and the restrictions that other towns have done and read all of them. And maybe it's combining some of the best of all of them to get to something. But, frankly, it's really kind of a shame that we have, metal signs with vinyl letters. It's unfortunate.
No, I agree completely.
And the sign that somebody printed on an HP printer crookedly is still up in that corner across from Starbucks. I don't know is there anything we can do about that, or?
I think the place is for lease. There's lease signs up there. So I'm not sure if there's anybody up there anymore even.
Can
I
the
can go
landlord
by.
can the landlord be asked to clean up the windows and take stuff down?
I can make a visit.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of main in our downtown. It's kind of a shame when that's up there.
Yeah.
And the other, Stanley, you want to talk about the propane tank?
Yeah. I circulated a quick blurb that a neighbor
Yeah, I
of
saw
mine had
that.
concern about exposed above ground propane tanks. And I spoke to Tom briefly about it, and there's really not much Tom can do about that. Tom even said some people put it in their front yard, which I find pretty amazing. And I think what I'm proposing is any propane tanks that are above ground should be screened from neighbors' views with plantings or fencing or something, so that Tom can at least, and not make it come to us necessarily, but at least Tom has some ground to say, hey, the town code says you got to screen it from neighbor's view or something like that.
I think that's a perfect solution. That's exactly what I was going to suggest.
Yeah. So if you want me to write something, I can do that and circulate it.
And where is that? What code, what section is that? Whose code is that in? Where does that go?
It would probably go in a zoning code.
Yeah, I mean, I for my neighbor, I try to look up just even generators and what, I think generators are considered structures as equipment on pads, but thank God they don't come to us because we'd be seeing too many of them. And then Tom clarified that propane tanks really are kind of outside of structures. So that's why as long as they meet NFPA, people can put them anywhere, which is surprising to me. So I think, just to keep people good neighbors, we should kind of require some sort of screening or put in a blurb there. If you put it underground, then you're fine. As Bob knows, I think you mentioned you put yours underground.
Yeah, it's a big project. I mean, it's
Yeah, but I'm sure it looks a heck of a lot better than
Yes.
3 tanks above grade.
Yeah, that looks like a commercial installation.
So
Yeah,
can we find like the page, part of the code that speaks, there must be a couple of paragraphs or one paragraph that speaks to that, and then you can add a few sentences to it.
I don't think there's anything.
There is none.
Yeah, I mean, for
You're
this,
gonna have to create this.
So where does it even say a 10-foot setback? Where does it say anything?
That's based on the building codes under fire safety, where
Yeah,
the
the-
propane
the-
tanks go under.
Yeah, the building codes.
okay.
But we
And-
can
and
put
how-
this under walls and fences, and, we can include that into one of those zoning sections.
And how would that get done? Does it have to go to Ed Phillips or one of the attorneys in the town and then go through the town board for a formal vote and all that? I assume it does, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
it
a
would.
legislative change.
So maybe write up a blurb and is Ed Phillips the right person, the right attorney? I mean,
Ed Phillips or Drew Gambles would be the two choices.
I don't know Drew, but I can
Well,
forward it on.
Tom, we'd also have to discuss above ground propane tanks don't require a tank permit. So will that need to change?
That will need to change as well, yes.
What is
We
that?
will be-
And is it above a certain size? Everybody's barbecue doesn't get a permit.
It would have to include any permanently mounted propane tank, meaning any fixed mount tank of 100 gallons or more. Not a 20-gallon barbecue tank that's portable. It's any on-site filled tank. It's really the classification. But yes, Daisy, we would have to include that in a new permit, so that the undergrounds plus the above grounds would have to have permits. Because we'd have to be looking at their placement and the final screening.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It would be good. I mean, that picture from Stanley looked terrible. Nobody would want that next door to their house.
Yeah, and I felt powerless helping my neighbors. They came to me to be the hero, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't find anything in the code against it. So,
Well, I have another question aside from this. So on the building, the Chappaqua building, the newly named Chappaqua building, do we really have any jurisdiction over the paint color? We've never had paint color
oh,
conveyance
There was a
before.
whole brouhaha when the Bank of America got done.
I know, and we didn't have any control over that. So
I'm not sure there was another one where
we don't on any homes. So,
But on the
I don't.
downtown retail area, we may. I don't even remember when we rewrote that language a few years ago. It might have been a little stronger, and I think it probably was a little stronger in general wording and discretion of the board for the hamlets. So
Yeah,
I
I
think we
sort of-
should take the
sort of
position
remember
that
that.
we do for now. I seem to remember that it was a little stronger than it was for a single family house.
right.
which is nothing. So anything is stronger.
It's either kind of a yes or a no. You either do or you don't. But let's take the position that we do. He's willing to work with us.
Right. He is willing to work with us. I'm just, in the future, I'm curious. I would like to know. So.
Right. Well, there was another one. If we want to make projects for ourselves, that again, the town boards have changed. Obviously, they're different people, and it's going to do a wholesale change next year.
Yeah.
But they've always been in favor because I think most residents in this town would like to see the downtown architecturally improved. And they were certainly at the time willing to give us the authority to write a stricter code, but they wanted us to do it because they didn't know how to do it. And I think I even told Sabrina at one point, I think that, we should get, we have so many consultants that work for the town, that a planner could probably do a better job of drafting it and structuring it. And we could edit it and comment to it as opposed to us,
We're
writing
still
it.
being recorded.
That's okay.
All
Is that
right.
okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll try to behave what I say. So.
I have to, I'm wiped out, but I'm sorry, but I can't volunteer for the sign task. I'm tapped out with other boards and everything. So I'm not volunteering. Sorry about that, but I need to just get that out now.
I can work on it. It's fine. I actually started, I think at some point took some notes on a few of those things I got sent out, and it just never went anywhere.
Yeah, I'll you take the lead, Travis, but I can maybe jump in
I'm
and
happy to look
Yeah,
at stuff.
I think what it'll just take is kind of, just you know, everybody putting their heads together, what kind of signs when you're driving through town are like jumping out at you.
I mean,
Right.
And go from there, but go
But
ahead.
if you review the codes that other towns have written, and I think we had, I don't know if it was Westport, or Katona, or Ridgefield, or some of Daisy pulled some nice towns that have stricter rules than we do. They've already gone through the process, and we can agree or disagree with some of what they've written, but that'll be a lot easier place to start. And
Oh,
to
sure.
start thinking about it from scratch, you know?
Yep, I agree.
I personally would hate to go to everybody has the same sign approach though.
Right.
But it's very hard because it's such a subjective thing. For
Well,
instance, we
I
saw
think-
the visual today, like of local, that's a beautiful sign. It was beautifully done. It was, you know, but
But if
who's
you
to
have
say?
minimum standards, if you have a lot, maybe you have a laundry list of things that get crossed out that you can't do, that you can't do plastic signs, you can't do
Yeah.
flat metal signs, you can't do vinyl cut letters.
Well,
you know,
people-
you can't do internally lit letters, you know, things that we all don't like.
Well, I think people are starting to put vinyl graphics that belong on windows on a piece of aluminum and then just sticking it on the top of your storefront.
But
So
we just approved that today.
exactly.
because-
And I don't
That's
like it.
exactly what I was
Because he's
describing.
allowed to, but
But I
it's,
think they're just-
but it's made for a window versus the vinyl is more of a window type graphic. So,
But I think what we're looking for is dimension in the sign, whether it's the logo, the letters, or the frame or something, or a combination of the three.
Yeah.
And relief, pin letters are, you know, on some sort of a pin, so to speak, instead of just glued on. You know, indirect lighting as opposed to light boxes. You know, wood and
But
metal.
we have to
instead of
also be
plastic.
sensitive to price, you know, price points.
Well, but again, in a.
Some of these
you
are
know, how
quite
much do
expensive.
you? Well,
Some
then
of them are expensive when you start doing, you know.
they are, but then you're not gonna, then you
Dimensional.
have to make a decision. Then you're not gonna ever upgrade the retail stuff. You're gonna get lowest common denominator. And I understand that from a philosophical standpoint, but then that's what you're gonna get. If you wanna, if people, not us per se, but if people as a larger group wanna upgrade the downtown, you know, you've got to raise the bar a little bit. And that does require sometimes more money to be spent. But again, that's business versus, you know, somebody's house. And so I look at that a little differently too. At least I do.
Anyway,
Okay.
I have
Was
one
that-
last comment. Brendan, are you okay?
Thanks. I'm in
You look like you're
bed.
lying
so I've been
down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
you're
bed for
sinking in
2
the
hours here,
sinking in the
but
Oh my
water.
goodness.
like you're floating on a surfboard or
I
something.
lost
Yeah.
steam about 20 minutes ago, guys.
it looks like you're on a raft.
All right, 10 o'clock.
All right, I'm done too.
All right, so wait, before
I gotta
everybody
go.
goes.
Oh, yes, December 1st or
Calendar.
December
Oh,
8th?
December
Oh.
1st, December.
Well, it's not
Oh,
just
I'm-
December.
I'm assuming I did that because of Hanukkah. So if you guys are good with meeting on the 1st, I'm fine with it.
Well, but if we do the 8th and you're gonna be the 22nd, I can be flexible because I'm
I can't do the 22nd.
right. I think that's might be a problem for people. So
Yeah.
I think 1st and 15th would be better than 8th and 22nd.
Okay,
Yes.
Yes.
1st and 15th. All
Right.
right, so I will change it and make sure everyone knows.
And then we're off the 29th also then, so we're good for the month.
Right.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
All right.
Good night.
goodbye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.